Hello and welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. Kay Murray, Ali Moreno and Stevie Nicol here in the studio. Lots to look forward to this weekend in the Premier League. We'll be talking about Real Madrid as well and everything that's going on with Xabi Alonso and the team and his talk about what's going on between his relationship and the board and the president right now. But we will be kicking things off in the Bundesliga because that's where things kicked off for us on Friday. He did actually score.
Definitely. Are you sure? Definitely.
Nicholas did not deny him on the second occasion. And there you can see his name in the 97th minute, Maxi Bayer with a goal there. And he made it 2-0. All right, let's get some thoughts on this. Ali Moreno is feeling very festive ahead of this fixture. He's not always the kindest about Borussia Dortmund, it's fair to say. It's often fair, some of his assessments as well. I will add that too.
Okay.
However, he did say he was not bar humbug before the game, Stevie. He did say before the game, I think Dortmund are going to do this. I think this is going to be their day. It maybe didn't quite go the way we thought then, but they did do it, Ali, and they got the 3 points.
Yeah, but it's not it's Merry Christmas. Enjoy the festive period. It's not go on and party. Everything is settle and everything is great in this club. What we saw from Borussia Dortmund today is no different than what we have seen over the course of the season. A team that at times can create some chances, at times can take advantage of those chances, but not consistently so. And more importantly, we see always and often a drop-off during the game. And in those drop-off moments, they allow other teams like Mönchengladbach that really were not part of this game for the first 30 minutes, they allow them back into the competition, back into the game. And then Mönchengladbach, just because they really had to push some numbers forward, not because they're a great team themselves, they found themselves with some opportunities. And so I don't know what to tell you about Borussia Dortmund other than I'm not surprised. I was hoping that today we would see explosive, dynamic movement in the final third, that we would see really incisive possession of the ball through the midfield, that we would see some of the things that we come to expect from this club. But I don't know why I'm expecting that anymore, because that's not the team that they have been this season. They have been a team that are pragmatic defensively and have been solid, and today was yet another shutout. So I suppose if you're Gregor Kobel and Niko Kovac, you're happy about that. If you're Nico Schlotterbeck and the rest of the back line, you're happy about that. Defensively, they continue to be very solid. But offensively, I have questions. And in becoming a better team defensively, I think they have sacrificed some of the things that they do offensively. And what concerns me the most is those drop-offs that I talked during the game, in which they can look very good and then they can disappear. And those times that they disappear is for long periods of time, and that allows other games back into the match. So I would say, Merry Christmas, Borussia Dortmund. Enjoy it, but let's not get crazy.
Let's get the post-match assessment of Archie Intutt and Thomas Hitzelsberger, who were pitch side today, and there they are right now with Gio Reyna. Archie.
Just waiting for the cue. Hang on. Thanks, man. All right. Kay, thank you very much. Gio, not the return to Borussia Dortmund that you would have wanted. How did you see the game overall today?
Yeah, I think it was a game of margins. Obviously, giving up a goal early is always hard to overcome at a stadium like Dortmund. But I thought for 50 to 60 minutes of the game, we were there. We had chances. We were in good areas. So, a little bit more ruthless in front of goal, and I think we could walk away with a point. But a lot of positives, and we just have to rest, recover, and then we'll be back working after the break.
Thomas.
No, I felt you finished the first half strongly. Like, what did you talk about in the half time? How did you approach the second half? Because I thought there could have been more in this game for you guys.
Yeah, just to keep going, really. It's like you said, we started slow, and then the last 20, 30 minutes of the first half, we just felt like we could give more, be in dangerous areas, and a little bit better in front of goal, a little bit better final pass, and like I said, maybe walk out with a point. But yeah, I think there's a lot of positives to take away. Credit to Dortmund, also a great team. It's never easy to play here, so yeah, in the end it is what it is, but we have to take the positives.
I know this isn't the result you wanted. However, I have to say it's great to see you start for a fourth game running and see you back out on the pitch. How does it feel for you? That moment in the first half when you nutmegged Felix Mecho, we enjoyed that. How did you feel about that?
Yeah, Felix. I'm just happy to be playing again. I love the sport so much. It means so much to me. Yeah, obviously I had an injury in the beginning of the year, so now the club's really taking care of me and building me up to where I can play games and start games and be fit for pretty much as long as I can. So yeah, obviously a lot of good faces here to see. I'm still close with a lot of the guys, so yeah, still building my rhythm, still building game by game. Felt pretty good tonight, but just have to keep going now and working.
I'm going in on the smile there at the beginning there, right? Because that smile suggests that you might have had a bit of banter with Felix Mecha about that. True or false?
Yeah, I mean, me and it's obviously I wanted to win more than anything, but Felix is a close friend of mine. You know, he spoke at my wedding, so he means a lot to me and a lot to me and my family and my wife. So yeah, it's more than love with Felix. Yeah, so like you said, he's almost like a brother to me. So it's just nice to see all the people I made great relationships with.
Next time, maybe you get the points instead of the nutmeg.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. It happens. Obviously, tough game. Proud of the group. Fought really hard. Yeah, I think we all feel like maybe we can walk away with a point if things go a little bit better. But yeah, that's football.
Gio, thank you very much for coming by.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. That was Gio Reyna there. And we're going to send it back to you for now. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We do hope to get some more reaction from pitch side right now. Obviously, just got to hear from Gio Reyna, and the good news is he continues to play for Borussia. What did you get back, Ale?
There's a whole lot of adjusting going on for Gio Reyna. That's all I'll say.
Well, I never noticed.
Where's somebody's guy? We got to get him new underpants.
Good to see him back, though, Ale.
Yeah, well, absolutely it is. But I go back to something I said in the pregame, is that while it is good to see him out on the field and to see that he is fit and ready to play and injuries seem to be a thing of the past for now anyways, you now need to see productivity. You now need to see him stack up numbers. You need to see real impact, not just good feelings, good sensations, but actual tangible evidence that he is indeed an impactful player for Mönchengladbach. Right now, is a player that, if you're Archie, you are highlighting the fact that he made Felix Mecha. From my perspective, yeah, that was beautiful, but then when he went to run away from Nico Schlotterbeck, the ball got taken away from him and the play was over. What I would want to see is the continuation of that play that ends up in something, in an assist, in a shot on goal, on something productive in the attack. And I think you can extrapolate that for the rest of his game. There are a lot of things that are pretty good right now, but you need to take a next step where those things actually become productive, become goals, becomes assists, become something impactful for your team. That hasn't been the case so far.
He'll be wanting to take that next step, Stevie, getting this run of games with such a big summer ahead for the US.
Yeah, I think so. And I think he's actually got time to add all those things that Ali's on about. Because, I mean, that's why he's on the field. That's the part of his game that got him to Dortmund in the first place and now Gladbach. But I think if you're him right now, I think his concentration should be staying 100% fit. Because when you have ability, if you're not fit, you can't show it. And if he can get himself in a physical state where he's now able to show the ability he has, and then start adding those assists and those goals that Ali's on about, I think if I'm him, that's my goal. Yes, of course you want to score goals and set people up. But right now, considering the last couple of years he's had, he just needs to be 100% fit. Because even if he doesn't produce those numbers between now and the end of the season, he still has to be on the plane if he's fit.
Let's get word from one of the goal scorers today, Julian Brandt, standing by now with Archie and Thomas.
Thank you very much, Kay. Julian Brandt here with me. I first spoke to him in English 10 years ago, but it's taken him 10 years to come back round to this camera, so we're very happy to have you here. Firstly, talk about that win and what that means for this team.
Yeah, I mean, the importance of the game today was huge because I think we had some recent weeks.
How was it for you? Was it a case of patience, just waiting for the ball to come down at the right time?
Well, I have to say it was a really, really nice and soft cross from Nicky. Yeah, I had a lot of space. I came from behind and I think I took it really well. So yeah, I hit it quite nicely, and for me it was a nice feeling because the 1-0 was really important for us. But also, yeah, the goal was, I think, a nice one.
It looked like it must have felt very satisfying for you, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's always satisfying scoring in this stadium. So even if it's a tap-in or if it's a goal like this, but well, in the end, the goal is the one thing, but the big thing, to be honest, is the win about the game.
How have you felt, just finally, about how the last few years have gone for you here at Dortmund? Because it's never been a question about your talent. That's never been in question. But have you always felt at home in terms of on the pitch and with every situation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I wouldn't feel like this, I wouldn't extend my contract 2 or 3 years ago. So no, I feel at home, of course, but I know that it's a bit different than, for example, Bayer Leverkusen. The trouble is more, the attention is more. You have to get used to this, but in the end, no, it's a privilege to play in the stadium in front of these fans, and I'm really happy and really like my teammates in this club. So I know sometimes there is a bit trouble. I think this will never change, but no, I'm enjoying this.
How many times are you watching the goal back tonight? Be honest.
I don't know. Maybe depends. I don't know. Maybe some friends will send me, but maybe no. So none.
If you've got good friends, they're sending you that. Julian, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Back to you, Kay.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Today, obviously, be a key part for Borussia Dortmund if they are to keep up this consistency.
And well, but that word that you just said there, you can apply that to Julian Brandt. That's exactly what you think of when you think Julian Brandt. Consistently inconsistent. And this is where Dortmund is. A team that I think on moments can give you something that you can build around, hence Julian Brandt and the comparison, the analogy to Borussia Dortmund. But then on other times they go missing. Julian Brandt does the same thing. So if there was ever a player that really paints a picture of what Borussia Dortmund are, it's Julian Brandt himself. The high points of Julian Brandt are very high. The low points are very low as well.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll have more Bundesliga coverage this weekend. This has kicked things off for the last match day of 2025. Borussia Dortmund taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach. Here's a look at what we've got ahead this weekend. It all will culminate with Heidenheim against Bayern coming up on Sunday. But we have a whole slate of action for you, as per usual. One done, plenty more to go. You can catch every single one of them on ESPN+. Be sure to be with us for them. Arsenal sit top of the table after 16 rounds of action ahead of the weekend's clash away to Everton. But there's been a few things called into question of late with the Gunners as to how well they are dealing with the title pressure and whether they're feeling that pressure right now. It feels that at any point now, any small slip-up could immediately cost them, Stevie. So why is this the case right now?
Do you know, it's really tough to put your finger on the problem that they're having right now.
Because it's there, isn't it? We can feel it. We can feel a bit of tension.
Yeah, and if we can feel it, then you know that they're thinking about it. And I said previously that I think the key to this is the manager. It's how the manager reacts and how the manager is day to day. It's not about turning up the day of the game and getting things right. It's about what happens during the week. And the manager, in my opinion, is the key to it all. He has to have the demeanour of, we just do what we do. We do our week's training, regardless of the opposition. Yes, we have 2 or 3 little things we need to keep an eye on, but this is about us. This is about what we do. You know, you're going around Saka, you tell him you do what you do, and you basically go around and do all the things that you've done the whole season when you were top of the league, and everybody's talking about how great you are, how solid you are, how much you're going to go and score more goals, and that's how you go about it. Every single game just becomes a focus. If the manager starts thinking about what's going on around, then he's the one that loses his focus, and if he loses it, then the dominoes will crumble because the players will start feeling it and they'll see it and they'll start thinking about what's going on behind them. And when you do that, that's when you slip up.
Because you can say they're still leading the chase. And for their point, he could be saying to them, even though we are feeling a bit of this tension right now, we do still sit top, just.
Look, it's a long season, a long season. Arsenal were not going to stay at this level the whole season. There were going to be moments in which things were not going to be nearly as straightforward, nearly as easy. So if I'm Arsenal and I'm Mikel Arteta, I'm thinking, well, I'm glad that it's happening now and that we're not having this collapse much later in the season where we don't have time to recover. And I say recover when this is a team that is actually leading the league. So it's almost as if, and I know that because of the performances they've had over the last couple of weeks, that we may think, oh, it seems like they're fading. and yet they're still up there. And that would be my message. Hey, we're not playing at our best. We're not achieving our potential, and yet we're better than most in this league. So begin to trust all the things that Stevie just talked about. Begin to trust the things that you do well individually. Begin to trust the things that have made us the teams that we are. And Stevie is absolutely right. You just spread the message and allow that message to then take over the locker room. But my message would also be one of, listen, we're not going to be perfect. Things are going to happen. And what matters is how we react from some of the challenges that are in front of us. And in fact, I would add on to that and say something, everybody out there, they're expecting us to fail. They're looking at each and every one of us, and including me as the manager, and thinking that we don't have it. And I'll say, you have it, and you have it, and you have it, I have it, we have it together. They can say whatever they want, but what matters is what we have in here. And I would keep that in-house, everything about us against everybody. You unite the message, you unite the team, and you get your team playing at a level that you think is going to be enough for you to win this thing. They're still up in the league. They're still leading. I don't think this is an issue for Arsenal, nor a time to panic. Panic if we're reaching April and now you have this some sort of collapse. That's when because you have no time to make up for it.
Bunker mentality.
Yeah?
Bunker mentality. As you're talking there, I'm thinking about it. And that's absolutely what it is. Because the bunker mentality means that you're not listening to a word that's going on outside. It's all about in there. And when it's all in there, what happens outside doesn't affect you. That's exactly what they need.
Something that's been going on outside. There's a lot of talk about Victor Gyökeres, and Mikel Arteta has been defending his striker this week.
He had no pre-season. The first few weeks was difficult because physically he wasn't in his best state, and he's a player that needs that, like any other player in this league, almost to perform at that level. Then he kicked on. I think he had a really good period and he got injured. And now he's back to his best. I saw a lot of positive things in the last 2 games that he's done. We need to continue to tweak and understand him a little bit better in certain situations, and he needs to do the same. But that's about time, and we have full support for him.
We take a look at his numbers, and obviously Arteta did mention the injury that Victor Gyökeres has had to come back from already this season, and you're seeing a before and after with that injury. What's your thoughts on what we're seeing from the player right now and what Arteta had to say, Stevie?
I absolutely agree with Arteta. I'm not so sure about the first bit about he wasn't 100% fit and physical, all that stuff. I think the important thing is that he didn't start on fire as certainly Arsenal and Arteta hoped, but there's no question he did come onto some form and some goals. And so he's already shown that he can do that, Gyökeres, in this league. He's unfortunate he got injured. I'm 100% in that part with Arteta. He couldn't have picked a worse time to get injured, just when he'd got through that barren spell and was beginning to look like Arsenal's centre forward. But he's been through it. He knows he can come through the other end, so he needs to do it.
So I think fans of Arsenal need to be very careful about watching a guy like Mikel Merino score goals and then think, well, we don't need Gyökeres then. No, because why don't we just play Merino and then he'll be the one scoring the goals and we will be good. I think Victor Gyökeres gives this team a different dimension in the attack, a different look. And so if he is at his best and he is physically fit and confident in front of goal, I think this team is better because of it. So don't fall into the trap that because Mikel Merino has scored a goal here and there, you kind of go, well, that should be the guy who should be playing striker. If Arsenal are going to be at their best and are going to achieve the things that they want to achieve, I believe that Victor Gyökeres gives them a better opportunity than anybody else playing the center forward position. Mikel Merino can do a job, and he's a guy that has done a great job. But it's not the answer in terms of those games that are really tense, those games that you need something special, something different, something inside the 18-yard box, that you need a goal scorer, the goal scorer that they've been looking for, and that's what Gyökeres is supposed to be. You need him to be at his best because he may just be the difference between you winning the league, you winning Champions League, you winning whatever it is that you want to win because you have an actual striker that can get a final touch on the ball. So don't fall into the trap of just saying we don't need him. You need him, and you need him at his best.
Yeah, because meanwhile, in the background, Manchester City are just 2 points behind them in the table. There's obviously still room to grow for Pep Guardiola's men. They're not playing at the best, and they're still just 2 points behind Arsenal. I suppose the concern here, Stevie, is that they've ridden these storms before. Arsenal haven't.
Yeah, and I mean, let's be honest, if you had a choice right now, who would you rather your manager was if you're a player? Would you rather have Pep or would you rather have Arteta? I don't think anybody's taking Arteta. You absolutely are taking Pep because he's been through it. He knows what it takes. He knows the signs. He sees the signs. He can smell it. You know, when you're coaching a team, you can smell when things are going well and when things are maybe on teetering a little bit. And so he's able to make adjustments that stop that happening. He's able to make little adjustments, little changes, whether it's his tactics or whether it's his personnel, that keeps us a side on there, because that's where they are right now. City are on a level and they're staying on it. Whereas Arsenal are the opposite. We're not 100% sure exactly what we're going to get right now, and we're not 100% sure what Arteta's telling them. Is he doing what Guardiola's doing? Well, clearly not. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going through these little troubles that they are. So, yeah, absolutely. City are the danger for Arsenal, no question.
And we've seen some of the other players stepping up, but fact is, Erling Haaland is having a sensational season so far, LA.
Well, the conversation I just had there about Victor Gyökeres is a conversation that you can have about Manchester City and Erling Haaland. And that's why, if you're an Arsenal fan, you want Gyökeres at his best. Because you see what Erling Haaland is doing and you go, well, we do not have that. And frankly, you think about players that are going to get you a goal. Who else in the world comes to mind other than Erling Haaland? You're talking about the very sort of upper tier of strikers here. And we're talking about a handful of players that you go, the moment this big, strapping, young, blonde Viking walks on the field, you know he's going to score. You know he's going to score. And that certainty, it allows you to play the game from a different perspective when you're Manchester City. That confidence that you know this guy is going to score. It frees up, or theoretically at least, it should free up everybody else. And we saw some of that last weekend in the service from Mateus Nunes, who just decided, you know what, I'm just going to swing a ball in. I'm going to swing a ball in and let this guy go and get it. And he did. I don't think, in fact, I know that there aren't many teams, not just in the Premier League, but around the world, that can have that certainty about their striker. Erling Haaland gives you that certainty that Arsenal are searching with Gyökeres.
I think there's one question that we all had early in the season was, if Haaland doesn't score, who's going to score? Well, I think this run that City have put together, we've seen who's going to score. You got Foden, who looks back to his best, sneakily. You know, Reinders is scoring, Cherky's scoring last weekend, Doku was scoring a couple of weeks ago as well. So that question has been put to bed. Again, I don't think right now, as we speak, we can say that about too many Arsenal players.
But the question that you can ask about Manchester City is who's playing outside back. And do they have enough in defensive transition moments through the midfield? And that, it's a part that they can certainly be exposed. And it's not just me saying it. You just watch them play and you go, ay, mama, who's defending out there and who's defending up here?
Yeah, so that's Manchester City. They'll be in action this weekend. They're taking on West Ham on Saturday. But as we continue to look ahead in the Premier League this weekend, we must talk about Liverpool. Liverpool maybe turning a corner themselves, Stevie, you could say. That victory over Brighton meant it's actually now 5 games unbeaten across all competitions. That's just a bit of a reason to pause and go, OK, we can deal with this, can't we?
I'm a little worried because that's exactly how I feel.
no.
It's kind of giving me cause for concern. That actually, we're going to Tottenham, and I think we can't lose to this Tottenham side. But then I've thought that a few times this season. And now the closer the game gets, now I'm thinking we possibly could. So, you know, I think this is a big game for Liverpool. After the Spurs game, Liverpool have got Wolves, they've got Leeds. I mean, they got Arsenal coming up soon, but they also got Burnley soon. I mean, Liverpool could win the next 3 or 4 games and should win the next 3 or 4 games on paper and put themselves in a position where if they beat Arsenal, maybe they're back in it. But the only thing is, that feels a little strange to say because I just don't feel as though Liverpool will be in the title race, which means they're not going to put themselves in that position by the time they play Arsenal.
Can
So
I-
I'm really all over the shop. This Liverpool side makes you go all over the place.
Right.
Because yes, you can look at the recent run, undefeated in 5.
All the 2 games against Spurs last season, 6-3 and 5-1.
Well, it could be the same. It could be either way. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really tough to call what you're going to...
Hang on a minute, are you actually feeling calm about
I don't
this?
think so.
I think you talk yourself
the
out
more
of
I
your own
talk about it,
calmness.
the more worried I'm getting. Well, the problem is I just know that Liverpool are capable of sometimes beating themselves. And Spurs, 100%, because they're at home, because it's Liverpool, I think the Spurs fans are going into this game not looking at it as a normal home game where it's we want to be on the front foot, we want to dominate the game, you know, we want to be creating chances. I think the Spurs fans are going, okay, if we keep this tight and then maybe we can get Liverpool on the break, because that's what teams have done to Liverpool this season. So I think Spurs fans will be looking at this going, right, we've got a chance here against the Liverpool side that are vulnerable. I'm going to say Liverpool win the game because I know you're going to ask me.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
But there's always that little doubt because of what we've seen already from Liverpool this season.
How many voices have you got going on in your head about Liverpool?
It's no easy being me, by the way.
There is some, I think, some reason to be cautiously optimistic about Liverpool.
Did that not sound cautiously optimistic?
Well, you started down the causiously optic and then you fell into a trap of
I did.
negativity.
You sold us that you were going to do
did.
that, and then you
right.
didn't convince us at
All
all.
Yeah. Now I was thinking, man, Spurs are going to win this thing.
Yes, anyway, one thing that does seem to be water under the bridge now is the whole Arne Slot and Mohamed Salah situation.
Yes.
This is what Arne Slot has had to say about the whole debacle this week.
No, I've said last week, actions speak louder than words. And we moved on. He was in the squad and he was the first substitution I made. But now he's at the AFCON, playing big games for himself, but also for the country. So I think it's fair to them, but definitely also for us, because we are going to play some very important games, that all the focus is for him over there.
Okay, so obviously it looks as though that's very much behind them. Obviously, Mohamed Salah has gone away now to play in the AFCON. How do you feel about how Slot's handled this whole situation overall now, Stevie?
Right now, 100% agree with him. I think it's done and dusted now. A lot of the reasons for that is the fact that he has gone to the African Cup of Nations. But I think the key was the fact that he actually got on the field against Brighton and actually performed way above what he'd been doing. And then after the game, getting the opportunity before he goes to the African Cup of Nations to be able to clap the fans, see the fans, get the fans.
And the fans clap him.
The fans got behind him. So I think all of those things have just cleared the whole thing away, and there's some sort of normality now, it seems, in terms of Liverpool. I think the injury situation for once played into his hand. The fact that he had no choice, he had to play Mo Salah when Gomez came off. He really didn't have another choice. So things have played well for Arne Slot, but he did the right thing, leaving him out when they played in Milan. And as I said, those 2 or 3 things that went everybody's way for Liverpool has just smoothed it over, and things are quiet. Of course, when he comes back,
Don't talk yourself out of it now. It's
Well,
like you're convincing.
You're good, you're good.
He was doing quite a stop.
for now, it's all quiet. There you go.
Okay, are we sold on that from, did he sell us there, LA?
Yeah.
Do we believe him?
Yeah, until he said for now.
Yeah,
He was ready to go further with that one.
You're right.
I was just looking ahead.
No, it's
Yeah.
all good. It's all
looking
good.
at
It's,
it. It's okay.
actually, you know what?
Yeah.
It's actually the timing of him going to AFCON. It's actually a good thing as well. And
And that they had this game just before it.
Yes. And so, because I think it allows Mohamed Salah to take some time to where he's focusing on something else, and just he can have some time to breathe, and maybe sort of reflect on some of the things that he could have done better himself. Not only performances on the field, but performances in front of a mic as well. Maybe he will take some time as well, as he is away from the team, to kind of go, yeah, maybe that's not the way to go about it. Perhaps. Again, cautiously optimistic. And I think this time away from the team, it allowed him to get some perspective.
The squad could be a little bit thin now. I suppose that's a bit of a concern
Definitely.
over this
No, it is.
festive period, Stevie.
100% is thin, and you know we spoke about it pre-season about how he needs to maybe do some things defensively, and they didn't do it, and they went top heavy with Isaac and Ekitike, and I think right now they're paying for that because of the injuries they have. So there's no question Liverpool are kind of near bare bones,
but they're going to.
But still good enough to beat Spurs.
They're going to be all right.
Right, move on before they change my mind.
Okay, we'll move on. There are lots of Premier League fixtures coming up this weekend. We will, of course, be talking about all of them on ESPN FC, particularly Spurs against Liverpool. We'll see how Stevie is feeling on the day and after it, of course, too. And make sure to join Ale and Stevie on the latest edition of Extra Time. Our YouTube channel has you covered every single day for that. Oh, meanwhile, here's how things are looking for Real Madrid right now. When you take a look at their last three, especially what we saw against Talavera, that got pretty ropey against the third-tier side in the Copa del Rey. He is aiming to end, though, a tough period on a high, and here's what he's had to say, insisting that Real Madrid are united from the president down to the players.
Desde el inicio, desde las primeras conversaciones, hemos tenido una relación cercana, de confianza, de respeto, de cariño, sabiendo que el proyecto en el que tenemos, los objetivos que tenemos, que esto es, la exigencia es máxima, pero que es un largo camino, ¿no? Que habrá momentos buenos, momentos no tan buenos, y ahora estamos al filo del último partido para acabarlo bien y para empezar el siguiente con ganas. El objetivo final sabemos cuál es, ¿no? En ese proceso, qué es lo que queremos hacer, cómo queremos construirlo, cómo queremos llevarlo, es fundamental, ¿no? Y en ese sentido vamos todos unidos, desde arriba hasta abajo, desde el presidente hasta el jugador, hasta toda la gente que está trabajando en ello, y el intentar hacerlo lo mejor posible y el esfuerzo que estamos poniendo, eso es incuestionable.
It's a very interesting time right now, Ale, to put it lightly, at Real Madrid for Xabi Alonso. You feel like he's walking a bit of a tightrope?
Yeah, well, yes, he is. But he had me convinced, of course, after this press conference, when he says, we're all together. It's all good. It's all built on trust. Okay. Ahead of last weekend's match against Alaves, he was being asked about Álvaro Arbeloa. Hey, do you think he could be a good option to take over Real Madrid? Which, that in itself is a question that is out of place, but it was being asked of him in the press conference. As unfair as it might have been, that was part of the questioning. They win against Alaves away from home. Wasn't necessarily great, but they get the win, which is priority number one and which was needed. It was desperate for him and for Real Madrid that they had to have a win, and they got it. And you're thinking, well, from here, we're going to build momentum and certainly be able to dominate Talavera. Yes, third-tier team. We should be able to do this and continue to build momentum forward. And it's hard to understand how a team and a club like Real Madrid, in beating a team from the third tier, actually feel worse about themselves than they did if they hadn't played that game at all. They won the game, and yet they feel worse. You watch Xabi Alonso after that game and him sitting on the bench, and it's like, he knows. He knows that that level of performance is certainly should not be good enough, should not be the standard of Real Madrid, and it doesn't set him nor the team for success. So here we go into Sevilla with the same questions, if not more questions, that we had going into Alaves. They won 2 games in a row, and yet it feels that we're back to the conversations that we were having before the Alaves match. This, yet again, is another must-win game for Real Madrid and for Xabi Alonso.
Is it more than must-win, though, Stevie? Yet we're talking about the end of the year. We've got all this behind him. Is it must-win and then really put on a great display for the fans that makes everybody just go, OK, we can breathe for a minute?
I think that would be the ideal scenario. However, he just needs to win right now, regardless. Because if he's winning, even the hierarchy in Madrid can't get rid of him. I mean, as Ali said, you've got to laugh at the trust. You know, they've said to him, we trust that you'll get us results. And if you don't, trust me, we'll get rid of you if you don't. So it's pretty simple. It's about winning. And even Real Madrid, as much as we all say, yeah, but they have to do it in the Real Madrid way. Right now, absolutely in the league, they have to just win. They can't afford to lose. Because if they do lose, that trust he was talking about will be severed.
Okay, we will be covering that game this weekend. Real Madrid taking on Sevilla. Plenty to look forward to in La Liga this weekend. This game, one of them, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll have you covered. When Archie was doing one of those interviews, Thomas, are Aston Villa in the title race?
Well, that's a tough question, Kate. You're asking a former player and still a Villa fan. I'd say emotionally, this is probably the best I've ever experienced being associated with Aston Villa. And I'd say a lot of fans actually believe Villa is in a title race. But I also have to analyse it. And I think a team that's got a goal difference of 8 now, if they continue that rate, they probably end up at plus 20. I don't think any Premier League team has ever won the Premier League with a goal difference of 20. And also the games they're winning are small margins, usually just 1 goal difference. So I think analytically, probably not. I wouldn't put too much money on them. But emotionally, you can imagine I'd love Villa to continue this run and go all the way and hopefully prove me wrong.
Okay, Thomas, I like that you're being cautiously optimistic here. Talk to us a little bit about the difference you've seen and what Unai Emery's doing with Aston Villa now that they've got them where they are right now.
Well, I think he's changed the club entirely since he first stepped in. And ever since he implemented a style of play that people love watching, he's improved almost every single player because he takes a lot of risk in the build-up. The team is waiting patiently to take a direct route, and that's a lot of risk that he's taken. And often, they win games and it's entertaining, but sometimes, of course, they lose games because the opposition, they know exactly when to win the ball back. And I do remember the Liverpool game at Anfield when they lost, playing out from the back. So these things still happen. But this season, I think the turning point was the Europa League game against Bologna when, things weren't going well, but did win the game 1-0. And Morgan Rogers in particular, he didn't have a very good game and the fans were kind of on his back a little bit, but he turned things around and look at him now. He's one of the best players in the country. He's a starter for England and it's just incredible to watch the way he's lifted this team. But one of my favorite players is Yuri Tielemans. And I could go through the list because there are so many great individual players, but Unai Emery has implemented a style of play that is probably the best I've ever seen.
That's a pretty special time at Villa right now, Stevie.
It is right now, yeah, and everybody's not only doing their job, but adding some, and they're not making mistakes. Thomas is talking there about the gamble that they sometimes overdo coming out from the back, and that's why they had such a bad start to the season, because every mistake they made, they got punished. And if you look at the season, you could split it in half. You make mistakes, you get punished, you start off horribly, now you've cut out the mistakes, and all of a sudden you're flying. Can they keep that up for the rest of the season? There's a long way to go. And so that's why I would say right now, I don't think they are title contenders. I think 100% the top 4 contenders, which at the end of the day, if you'd given that to Villa and Villa fans at the start of the season, they would have taken it.
I'm just laughing that Thomas Hitzelsberg has actually gone, because what he's ensuring he's doing after watching you earlier in the show is that he doesn't talk himself out of feeling cautiously optimistic about Aston Villa. So that's Villa, who we have to touch on, which means we've got to talk about Manchester United. And Ruben Amorim has given us good reason to do so, because Sir Alex Ferguson has had a recent interview, and Sir Alex Ferguson said that his assessment is that Manchester United could be 10 years away from winning the league title again. Ruben Amorim respectfully disagrees and says he understands football more than me, especially English football. I think we are not going to take that long to win a league. I don't know which manager is going to be here, but I truly believe that we can fight for the title in the next few years.
Well, he's got to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, if he turned around and went, no, I think Alex is right.
Alex, good point, Alex.
Then everybody would slaughter and go, hold on a second. So he's got to say that. However, I'm sorry, I'm in the Sir Alex camp. There's no reason to think that they can win it in the next few years. Why do you think they can? They've got one part of the team, and I say that going forward in terms of attacking, he has absolutely improved that this season. But the middle of the park and then the defence, and my own personal opinion, the goalkeeper isn't a championship winning goalkeeper. So you've still got 3 parts of the team to sort out. You've only got one part that actually seems to be working well. And I'm saying well, it's not extraordinary great. It's decent, it's good, but it's not championship winning material. So, yeah. I mean, look at that. It's many years since Arsenal won it, 20 odd. And they're way behind where Arsenal were the last time they won it. So, yeah, I'm with Fergie. I think this is going to take a lot more than a few years, that Amorim's saying.
Imagine what the reality is for Manchester United, that Sir Alex Ferguson is willing to go out there and say, hey man, it's going to be a decade.
At least.
At least a decade. And this guy is Manchester United through and through. He is the image of Manchester United. He is Manchester United. And he's telling you, yeah, no, we're not close. We're not there. Because he's seen that it's not only about the shortcomings of Manchester United that Stevie just pointed out, it's also about everybody else. It's also about Manchester City. It's about Arsenal. It's about the other clubs. It's about Liverpool. And the turnaround that we're going to see from other clubs as well. And so they're not by themselves in the world. So they got to get themselves right. And they got to hope that everybody else around them don't take a step forward, that they all take a step back. That's a lot to hope for over the next few years. It's more likely that it will be, as Sir Alex Ferguson said, a decade.
I mean, if you're a player and you've got a choice of 4 clubs, and it's the 3 plus United that Ali's just mentioned, who are you going to? You're not going to United. And apparently United don't have that much money right now. So it takes money and it takes smart recruitment. 2 things that right now United don't have: money and smart recruitment. So how are they going to win it in the next few years? You've got to realise that if you're Amorim.
What a dramatic pause that was.
It was a really dramatic pause.
Smart.
I just forgot what Scotty said. Don't worry.
You almost fooled us. Earlier on today, we got to see Dortmund beat Borussia Mönchengladbach 2-0. After the game, our boys Archie and Thomas were able to catch up with the Dortmund manager, Niko Kovac. Here he is.
Niko, 2-0 win just before Christmas. How does that feel?
It's a very nice gift, I would say. So this is what we've planned. It was I would say, intensive game. From my perspective, we started very well the first 30 minutes. Then we dropped a little bit. We had too much mistakes. We've been a little bit sloppy, I would say. And but then overall, I think they deserved to win. We've been the better team. The second half was a little bit up and down, more or less basketball, I would say. But 3 points. Clean sheet, Christmas, New Year, it's okay.
You must be very proud. You played the Club World Cup, no summer break for you. You're second in the Bundesliga. But do you still think there is room for improvement?
Of course, I agree. So, as you know, it was a very short break between the 2 seasons because we're the Club World Cup. But physically we are top prepared. We can for sure improve in all the segments. But the first step, I would say, I arrived here in February. Now I'm here for 10 months. I think we can all see the development, but we need to improve more.
I look at the way that the players respond sometimes on the pitch, and I'd say that they seem quite emotional a lot of the time. How much do you feel like you're the father of these players rather than the coach?
Yeah, football is an emotional game, so you need emotions. Without emotions, I think you can't play football. And as you know, I'm born in Berlin, I'm Croatian, so I have the emotions inside and then try to deliver this also to my players, and hopefully they got more passion. But they're doing well.
Niko, thank you.
Okay, guys.
All the best.
Cheers. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah.
Happy New Year.
All the best.
Thank you.
Bye, ciao.
Cheers.
What stood out to you there, Ali?
The last part, in which he's talking about there's more for this team to give. And that he is asking and demanding for, as he said, more. And I don't think he believes he's getting it. And he's right. This team has more in them. There is more potential for Borussia Dortmund than what we have seen in this first half of the season. And I believe that if indeed they're going to separate themselves from the rest, not catch Bayern Munich, but separate themselves from the rest, we're going to have to see that with more consistency.
Yes, will 2026 be the year that we see Borussia Dortmund are the best of the rest? Because as Ali says, it doesn't look like anybody's catching Bayern Munich right now. That will do it for the latest edition of ESPN FC. Thank you so much for being with us. Stay right where you are, though, because extra time is on the way. These 2 guys are staying late to answer your questions tonight. And, of course, we'll be with you all weekend right here on ESPN FC. Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Cozy corner today, just the three of us.
All right,
LA,
okay.
Stevie,
All right.
me. Just a few questions. I'll get started then, shall I?
I'll go on.
You want to sing like you were earlier today, or what's the name
No,
of
I've
the?
heard my voice. I've heard my voice. Sidney Devine.
Oh,
Sydney
yeah.
Devine,
You were
yeah.
bringing it.
Look him
I
up.
think Stevie's better than him.
Look him up.
All right. Pep has offered to have coffee with Keith Andrews to discuss Kushanov only being shown a yellow in their Carabao Cup match clash. Stevie, did you ever have a sit-down with an opposing manager to discuss an incident in a match? A sit-down over a bag of crisps or a beverage?
Well, unless, certainly in my era, when I was coaching, we would go after the game and see the opposition coach and have a beer, and we'd talk about situations like that. So I'm going to assume that they never met after the game then, because that would be the first thing you'd go to. I mean, if I was Andrews and I'm going to Pep, I'd be jokingly saying, "Got away with one there, didn't you?" And then it's up to him to answer how he feels. And generally, it's never too serious, because it's usually not that long after the game still. So you kind of steer away from certain things, but that wouldn't be one of them. So if I'm him, I'm absolutely going and speaking to Pep about it, and just smile and say, "You lucky so and so."
All right.
It sounds like a built-in excuse to have a beer.
Well, it is, but it's always good, because I don't care how well you get on with the guy on the opposite side. When the game's going on, you're always thinking decisions should be the other way. And then you get a couple of seconds to think about it and you go, "Yeah, you know what, I was probably wrong there." And then there's occasions when you give each other a stare and a, "You know what, you can do." But then once the final whistle goes, as should be with the players, you shake hands and that's it.
That little room.
And so if there is an then going into the room afterwards, having a beer, whatever it is a good chance just to sort everything out if anything needs sorted.
Yeah, I used to love hearing all those stories about when the managers had a little catch-up afterwards. Do any that stood out for you?
I'm trying to remember. I said something really stupid.
Okay, well,
Oh, really?
well then hold on. Let's wait a minute. Let's
How
look
dare
through.
you.
Let's look through many of the what?
You said that as if it's a regular occurrence.
Wait,
Thanks, Kay.
who was keeping track of
Lovely,
this?
Stevie. Merry Christmas.
I was at Notts County, and we were going down, and Peter Taylor, who was former England manager, I can't remember the team he was in charge of, but it was one of my first games as a player assistant, so it was one of the first times I was in the room with all the other coaching staff, you know, because normally as a player you go in the players' bar, and they were teetering on the edge, and I've said, "Oh, it could have been worse. You could have won." And I didn't know why I said it, because it was just I was in a place that I'd never been before and wasn't quite sure what to say or do, and I just went, "It could have been worse. We could have lost."
It just pulled you
And I
foot
just
out
saw
of your mouth.
I just saw Taylor looking at me like that. I was like, I think I'll keep my mouth shut from now
Yeah,
on.
that's hilarious. Semenyo, move to Spurs, United, City or Liverpool? What's most important, wages, coach or other? Where would you go?
Go ahead, Stevie.
You go to the best team. I think the money should be insignificant. It shouldn't be about a cent, a dollar, a pound, whatever it is. It should be about, right, where am I going to be the most successful? Because you want to win things. So straight away you got to look at City. But then you go, am I going to get a game every week? Does that matter as much? I mean, there are a lot of things that come into it, but the biggest one should be, I want to win things and I want to be successful. And so, if I'm a player right now, I think City's the place you go.
If you're a player right now and you have that decision, there would be the teams, Ali. Where would you choose if you're Semenyo?
Yeah, and so I look at the second thing that Stevie just mentioned there. Am I going to play? Because if I'm moving from a place where I'm playing, where I feel good, where I'm appreciated, beloved, so on and so forth, and I'm having a good time doing it, then this move is going to be something that it's an upward trend, is obviously an upgrade to where I am, and sitting on the bench is not an upgrade. Even if it is sitting on an upgrade at a better team. If you're a player that is consistently on the field, to go and sit on the bench, it's a problem. So I myself would not go to City because I'm looking, I don't know. I don't think he's going anywhere.
But don't you think the only position that really you're going, I'm not playing, is centre forward?
Yeah.
Don't you think if you look at the City's team, somebody like Semenyo will look at Doku, Savinho.
You'll bank on
They'll
yourself.
be like, hold on a second, why am I not going to play?
In that sense, yes. But then that's when you have to have real conversations as to what is the expectation of me as a player.
Right.
Where do you see me? Because otherwise, if you're seeing me as just being a striker, it's like, well, the big guy's gonna play.
Right, you're not going there, right.
And it's not just for now. Erling Haaland's contract it seems to be for 1,000 years.
Right.
So it feels like you're running yourself into a dead end. I honestly, if I were Semenyo, I would look at a place like Manchester United and say, I am better than anything else they got there. I know that Manchester United is not
Going to win the title in the next 10 or 11 years.
according to Sir Alex Ferguson, but yeah. I know that in my mind,
You're not selling yourself short though.
Well, he's what? Is he going to go to
We'll
Liverpool?
want to win things, Ali. And obviously, you obviously, if he's in a position where he's got that choice, you can't go to United.
I would take United over Spurs.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Me too.
Right. And then I just said my reasoning for not going to City would be that if my role is going to be a striker and I'm running into a dead end because I'm not playing ahead of Erling Haaland, and then I look at Liverpool.
I think you're setting roadblocks up in front of yourself here.
No, I don't believe so. I mean, look, if you're willing to sit, and more times than not you're going to be sitting at Manchester City, then go to Manchester City. But that's a choice you're making, knowing full well that you're not going to play ahead of Erling Haaland. And we can all agree on that he's not going to play ahead of Erling Haaland. And Liverpool just got 2 strikers in the last transfer window, in Ekitike and of course Isak. So, and they're having difficulties trying to find places for other players.
You got to go City or Liverpool.
Well, I know, I hear you.
Stevie, what do you make of all the noise around Maresca at the moment?
Noise. A lot of noise. I mean, the Pep thing is unfortunate because it's none of his doing, but the other stuff is absolutely his doing. How about you just get your head down for a bit and keep out the papers and keep your mouth shut? I mean, it's becoming, it's almost becoming about him all the time now instead of the team. So yeah, get your head down. If you don't have to go to press conferences, or if you do have to, then you cut them short, keep them simple, don't say nothing, never mind answering the question. Just get in, get out, and keep your head down.
Okay, start, bench or drop potential Christmas gift. England winning the World Cup. Borough winning the championship.
Oh.
Getting a Scottish citizenship.
Wow.
I don't really need that, do I? Being that I'm a quarter Scottish. And
Well, you've got it
British
already.
passport holder. Yeah, exactly.
If you turned around tomorrow and said, I want to play
For Scotland. Absolutely.
you could do it.
Yeah.
So you can take that's off the table.
Yeah. So.
Because you've got it. So it's Borough or England.
I've had this question before. It's a tough one because you either make a whole country happy, or you make a whole town happy.
Your town.
My town that I want to be allowed to step foot back into. So Borough winning the championship and then England winning the World Cup.
Correct.
Correct. And I wouldn't dare say anything otherwise in front of Stevie. I've got to pick my club here. What's a hobby you have that most fans would never guess? Guys.
Oh, you want to go ahead, Stevie?
I think I've got any.
Okay, I'm surprised.
Yeah,
Not anymore.
I mean, you don't mind singing a little bit. I know you don't go out and sing. You like your music, you like watching lots of different music things. I think that people would be surprised at the depth of your musical knowledge, Stevie.
No, I wouldn't go that far to say
No?
knowledge. I would say I know one line of 100 million songs.
Oh, I think you got good.
I know one line.
I'd bank on you in a general knowledge kid.
I used to be in the darts team. I don't think anybody knows that. I was in the pool team. I think most people know that. But I used to be in the darts team.
Okay. How was your performance?
I was all right.
All right.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah. I kind of went. I went for the beer. I
Well,
won the odd game.
shocked.
Really?
I went for the beer. Let's be honest. The pool was different. I went to win. I wanted to win at the pool, but the darts. No, that was a social.
Love it.
Yeah, and did your darts, whenever the beer consumption increased, did your darts get better or worse?
No, worse.
Oh.
Worse. It was a little similar to pool. So I always say between 5 pints and 10 pints, you couldn't beat me. Before 5, I wasn't settled.
Oh, you were
When I hit
jittery,
5, I
jittery.
was settled. I was
In the zone.
confident.
Locked in.
I was
In
in
the
the zone.
zone, yes.
I was and then after the 10 pint, the eyesight would go a little bit. Darts was a little the same. Probably between 3 and 4 pints and 6, because I wasn't that great at darts.
But you like
Mine.
I was good at drinking beer though.
Well, yes,
Right.
that's quite a hobby.
continues
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah, darts.
Mine does not include beer, and it's I actually like to put puzzles together.
Jigsaw puzzle.
Jigsaw puzzles. And on that same sort of wave, I really enjoy putting Legos together. Yeah. So if anybody wants to get me a gift, a Lego would be a nice thing. Because you know what it does? Is one, I go down to the basement, I have an office set up in the basement, and I start putting these things together, and there's calmness, quiet. They're not thoughts in my head. They're not concerns about the family and the kids and this and that or the other. It's just putting these pieces together to get the final product.
That's great because I've got loads of Lego for the kids this Christmas. Uncle Ale can come over and sit with them and make it.
What about you, Kay? What about you, Kay?
What, hobbies?
Yes.
Hobby? I like crossword puzzles.
Huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
especially cryptic ones, if
Did
you
it have-
know what they are.
Hold on, did they have newspapers in now?
Well, you can actually still get the digital copies online, which is what I usually subscribe to the papers for because you can do it on your iPad.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I think that would be mine, crossword
I've
puzzles.
got no patience for that.
Yeah, got to keep the brain working.
I was thinking about you as well. After about 10 minutes, I'm like that.
I like drawing as well.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's one thing I...
Can you just throw something together quick?
No, but I'm a good drawer. I'll draw something for you. You can ask me, and I'll draw
Right.
it for you, okay?
All right.
Not just now, though.
All right.
He's a good drawer too.
All right, thank you so much for sending in your questions. We found out some hidden hobbies tonight here on Extra Time, and we'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again. We're off to do some puzzles, throw some darts.
And drink some beer. What?
Oh God, I couldn't tell the story. Me and Mara are drawn.